Hey, I'm Aisha from Arrival Plans, and today I'll be going through highlights and travel tips from my second week here in Bangkok. I moved accommodations this week and I'll be staying in a new neighborhood during every week of my stay here, just so I can find the best areas and give some booking tips for here in Bangkok. Because honestly, the city is huge and it's really hard to know where to stay if you've never been here before. So I'll be seeing some popular areas and doing a little recap on my fourth and last week here. So this week has been a little bit more exciting than last because I visited some of the oldest and most famous temples here in Bangkok, like the Grand Palace, Wat Arun, Wat Pho, Loha Prasat, and the National Museum. So we're going to talk a little bit about those today and a couple other things at the end. The Grand Palace is a complex of buildings that was established in 1782, where you can find the royal residence, throne halls, government offices, and the Temple of the Emerald Buddha, which is considered the most important and sacred temple. It's also the only place where you can't take pictures in the Grand Palace complex. What's interesting about the Emerald Buddha is that it has 3 costume changes for each season: summer, winter, and rainy. While I was there, I saw the rainy season costume, which was a gold-plated monk's robe. It made the Buddha a beautiful, sparkling sight. The rest of the complex features interesting landmarks and buildings to explore and take pictures of, as well as an Emerald Buddha museum and a textile museum. The entrance fee for everything is 500 baht, and I definitely recommend getting there as soon as they open because it can get really busy and the tour groups start shuffling in at about an hour after opening. The iconic Wat Arun is just across the river from the Grand Palace, and you can get there by boat for only 5 baht for one way, and it only takes a couple of minutes. The entrance fee for Wat Arun is 100 baht, and you can get a free bottle of water, which is great because I don't know what it is about that side of the river, but I was sweating like crazy during my visit, and the temperature was the same as the rest of the week. Maybe it was because you had to climb some really steep steps to get to the first level. I don't know, but make sure to bring sunglasses and or a hat during your visit. Wat Pho is right by the Grand Palace, and it's where you get to see the reclining Buddha, which was my favorite place to visit this week. The reclining Buddha represents the Buddha before passing into the afterlife, and it is incredible. It's 46 meters long and a little hard to get pictures of because of its size, but it is possible. Wat Pho also has a couple of other temples to visit, and it's a nice place to walk around. The entry fee was 200 baht, and definitely a unique travel experience that you should see. The Golden Mount, or Wat Saket, is very popular and only 50 baht to enter. Here you get to walk up and see impressive viewpoints of the city, some Buddhist relics, and a large golden stupa. I also really like the couple of other temples and the Bamyan Museum on the ground level after walking back down. Another thing I want to mention is that I arrived at around 10 a.m. on a weekday and it was already packed with people. So I think it's another one of those places where you have to arrive as soon as it opens if you want to avoid the crowds. The Loha Prasat was my favorite temple after the reclining Buddha because it was a one-of-a-kind building with 37 golden spires and this staircase that you could walk up to each floor, and each floor serves a different purpose. So there was a library on one and a walking meditation floor, and all of the floors had really great views of the spires. Also, I was there around noon and I only ran into someone as I was entering and leaving, so it was a peaceful visit, which I really liked. The entrance was 20 baht, and the ground floor has a small museum that explains the architecture and the history of the building too. The last attraction I'm going to talk about is the National Museum, which features Thai history and art. There are also Asian artifacts here from Japan, Sri Lanka, India, Laos, Myanmar, and more. And of course, a ton of Buddhas. The entrance fee is 200 baht, and it took me 2 to 3 hours to see everything, though it might take you a little bit longer if you want to read everything too. Now for food. I tried some really good pad thai. I also tried the stir-fry morning glory, which is made of water spinach, garlic, chilies, oyster sauce. I will say it looks pretty boring, but it's actually really good. So definitely try that while you're here. Okay, so the very last thing that I want to mention is that as a tourist, I've been stopped so many times by tuk-tuk drivers and random people just asking me where I'm going or where I'm traveling to. And they'll tell me like that place is closed, or they have really good bus or train ticket deals and to come with them. And I'm always like, no, no thanks. And I politely decline. But there have been a couple of times too where I've just been like, I'm not going anywhere, I'm just wandering. And that actually completely shut down the conversations. You could say that, or just be like, okay, thank you, bye. I've actually been told by a tour guide at the textile museum and one of my hotel concierges to just avoid them altogether, just for those reasons, and also because the tuk-tuk drivers will overcharge tourists. So the point is, don't get sucked in, and it's probably best to just use public transportation. I hope you found these highlights and travel tips helpful. Next week we'll be traveling to one of the most historic places here in Thailand and visiting a neighborhood known for its busy streets and awesome street food. So be sure to subscribe so you can stick around for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.